Okay, there we go. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So today I wanted to basically just do a rebroadcast, but I had a few issues. I'm all on here today, so I had a few issues getting that on here. So I'm just going to instead um, just do a little forecast on the future. And if we do get any questions for a 360 video, then I will readdress it. But otherwise, I did. Yesterday we did have a little bit of audio issues. I tend to talk a little loud. I'm probably still talking loud, but hopefully audio is good. I can't really check it. But yes. So please submit your questions. If you have any questions, I will address it. Otherwise, today we'll just do a um, a broad a broad description of what kind of the future of the show has to hold. So next week on Thursday of next week, we start broadcasting at 10 a.m. and it's going to be a 2 hour special. We may not be live that whole 2 hours, but basically in the Thinkspot, we are teaching how to use a camera in person. So it's an actual Thinkspot class, so you can register on mesathinkspot.org for this class, and you can also attend online. So I'll have like a lesson on cameras and how they work, and going over manual settings, a little presentation on that, and then after that presentation, it'll be about an hour. I'll have time where I'll address people's individual camera questions. And so people who come in person can bring their camera, and I will teach their camera and where to find those settings on their camera, and what particular settings they have available on their camera, what manual settings they can control on their camera. And that'll be everything from DSLRs to point and shoot cameras to we'll get a little complicated when we get into phone cameras, but I can address that as well. But basically, I'll have DSLR cameras as an example, so we'll go over their manual settings. We'll go over ISO, aperture, white balance, and so forth. So this is me just coming to you guys, just talking to you about the future of the show today. And let's see if I can get my live broadcast up on this computer so I can see what we are seeing, so I can make sure you guys are seeing everything okay. Yeah, so here it looks good. Okay, yeah, so everything's looking good. And so now I'm here. I don't know if I can. So I gotta sign in, but I'm not gonna do that. So if you have any questions though, feel free to submit them. Um, and then after that week, on the next Friday after that, we'll have a further discussion on the evolution of the camera. So this will be Friday the 21st. We'll go over the evolution of the camera. And let's see, let me pull that up. So here's the forecast right here. So Friday the 21st, the evolution of the camera will go from when the camera was invented. The camera was actually invented multiple times by the Chinese, by in India, and it was invented many times throughout history. And then we'll kind of go over the recent history of cameras, of course, and how in the last 100 years the camera has really evolved. And so we'll go over the evolution of the camera. And then on Thursday the 27th, we will have introduction to Adobe. So I'll go over the Adobe course and kind of what Premiere Pro has to offer, what Adobe has to offer, what Adobe Creative Cloud has to offer, and why it's such a good program, and why I use that to edit my videos and use it for everything. And then on Friday, we'll have Introduction to Adobe Part 2, and we'll go over in more detail about Creative Cloud. And then eventually, down the line, I'll do a whole Adobe series where I'll teach you how to edit a video from step 1 to step 100. So we'll go through all the steps of editing a video, from all steps of post-production, from you filming it to coming out in the final product and uploading it on YouTube. And then in November, the first Thursday of November, we will be doing. I'll have to double check that date, but I believe the first Thursday of November will work. But I will be doing on the third of the Thursday. Thus far, unless something changes, we'll be doing technology at the end of the world, and so we'll be discussing what happens to technology if the world starts falling apart in different disaster scenarios, and what level of technology we can use at the end of the world. And we'll have a guest star from that if this date works for him. I'll have a guest star come in who will talk about ham radios and radio technology and how to get yourself on a radio frequency. And this is a group of people all around the world who are constantly chatting on old radios and using Morse code and using old technology to continue to communicate. And this kind of technology, these radios, will still be around if the cellular nebula goes down, or if the internet goes down. You'll still be able to communicate via radios and frequencies, and FM frequencies and AM frequencies. So we'll discuss that, and then Friday will be a further discussion on that kind of. We'll address any remaining questions, and we'll address what was discussed on Thursday. And kind of the breakdown, and then we'll be and then I'll release. If you go on Qonda Facebook, Qonda Entertainment Facebook, you can stay tuned for. We'll release dates on the Final Cut Pro series and the Adobe series. The Final Cut Pro series will be in-person classes at the Thinkspot. They're actually Thinkspot classes that I'll be teaching, and they'll be throughout November. I don't remember the dates at this point, but I will put them on the Facebook. And then the Adobe Premiere series will be only on live online. Of course, you're welcome to come in person as well, but there won't be any in-person interaction other than if you have a question, you can go on live and ask it. But it'll be an in live lesson where I'll be sharing my screen, and you can see me edit as I'm editing a video, and I'll go through step by step on how to edit on Premiere Pro. And then we'll also be doing Final Cut Pro series at the same time, and then I'll be discussing other alternatives to those two editing programs that are free, because Adobe does cost roughly like $30 a month if you're a student, and then more if you're not a student. And Final Cut Pro is a solid cost, I think like $300, maybe $200, but it's a one-time fee. And Final Cut Pro only works on Macs. Adobe works on both Macs and Windows, and also with the Adobe Creative Cloud bundle, it's $30. You're getting all the Adobe software, not just one editing program. You're getting, Photoshop, animation programs. You're getting design programs, graphic design programs, and you're getting web design programs with that bundle. So it's really useful. And Final Cut Pro is just a one program, and you can also buy plugins for Final Cut Pro that makes it more competitive, but it's a singleized program. And so yeah, it's basically the rundown, and there'll be more updates as we go further in the future. And so I am going to, actually right now, I'm going to play, if I can remember what this is right here. We're going to come.
People don't often think of convicted felons as being articulate, well-educated, attractive, upper-class white women.